Hey everyone, it's Juliana Stevens. I'm the owner of the Evolution Store, and I wanted to make a quick video for you guys this week about a topic I don't believe that we've covered before, which is our globes. We try and represent, natural products for the most part, but we do have a little bit of a soft spot for globes in particular, just because they represent exploration and all that sort of thing. So we have here our solar powered globes, which spin on their own, which are very cool. And then we also have a few more like vintage style globes. We carry a line of really high quality vintage reproductions of lots of kind of scientific instruments and like maritime navigational instruments, stuff like that. Things that would have been used way back then to explore the natural world. And so we kind of like having that as part of our collection as well. We have all these different types of globe bookends over there. We have, just maps and charts and all kinds of cool things. We have some ornaments here, heaven and earth. Those are all very cool. And the one I want to talk to you about today is a real showstopper. So you can see it over here. It is giant. You can see my, my hand to scale. It is at least, 2 or 3 feet tall. I have to step back to get it in the shot here. And it is a reproduction of a real sort of vintage globe that was designed by someone named Vaugondy in France. So he and his son were the official map makers, the official cartographers of France. They worked for Louis XV, the king, and they were commissioned to make basically representations of the physical world that people could use for navigation and exploration. And they even made a globe that was 8.5 feet in diameter, for the king. So you can imagine that is quite a big piece. And what I really like about these reproductions that we have is that really the quality and the care and of the craftsmanship. So this is real brass. This is real wood base on the bottom here, and another brass piece here. And then what's kind of most important though is the way that they make these globes is similar to the way that it would have been made back in the 1750s. So they have this kind of like paste paper that they put over it. So there's lots of actually individual strips of paper that are pasted onto the globe itself. So if you run your hands over it, you can feel that it's not one continuous piece of paper or plastic covering or anything like that. It's individual strips that have been cut out and pasted around the globe. All of the names and the words of everything of the places are all in French, so that's fun. So that's authentic as well. And then what's cool too is that not only are these larger pieces pasted, but the individual pieces of continents and islands and other sort of decorative pieces are pasted on top of that. So you have multiple layers upon layers of hand-cut paper pasted onto the globe. And you can see here terrestrial globe, and then Vaugondy is the name. It was a father and son duo from Paris, 1745. And so this is a reproduction of that. I think it's interesting when you look at the old world, it looks quite a bit familiar for the most part to what it looks like today on maps. But then when you get into the new world, you start to see some really interesting discrepancies for where we are today. For example, California is sort of hanging off the edge here. And that makes sense, obviously, because of how little was known about sort of that part of the world back then. Also, Florida is really big and sort of fat and chunky, which I think is not the way it's supposed to look. So yeah, it's just interesting, especially with North America in particular. South America seems pretty accurate, but I'm not an expert on that. But anyway, it's really interesting to see the differences. These reproductions are really high quality, very beautiful pieces. And that, like I said, it's like 2 or 3 feet tall. It's really impressive. Very nicely handmade, hand finished. And I hope that you will check out our collection of globes and this Vaugondy Globe in particular.